the spirit of the North Coast. This is Redwood News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for choosing Redwood News. I'm John Kennedy O'Connor. We begin with a big jump in containment today for the Six Rivers Lightning Complex fires. Plenty of good news being reported by incident commanders. The estimated area of the fires has dropped to about 25,000 acres and containment has jumped to 67%. That means the blazes are 2/3 contained. Many residents have been allowed back into the densely populated areas around Willow Creek and Salyer. The number of Eastern Humboldt residents under evacuation orders is down from 700 earlier this week to 130 this evening. So far, there have been 5 firefighters injured and 3 structures destroyed, but none of those were homes. And for smoke-choked residents along the northwest perimeter of the fires, there's been some relief as wind begins to clear the smoke. At a briefing earlier today, a fire behaviourist outlined the remaining challenges for crews battling the Six Rivers fires.
We have a lot of places where we have heat directly adjacent to the control line, and the primary threat to containment is going to be spot fires. So areas we'll be focusing on today are the Cedar Creek drainage, where there's still heat there, so crews will be working in there to make sure that stays on the west side of Cedar Creek. Down here in Division Uniform, where we still have some open line and had some spot fires yesterday. Those northwest winds could create more spot fires today, so we'll be focusing a lot of our resources in that area today. And then down here in Division Whiskey on the south end of the Ammon fire, where there was some recent firing operations, we'll be focusing there to make sure that that line is secure with that northwest wind flow.
Residents in the Willow Creek area say they're grateful to firefighters for saving their homes and managing to get nearly 70% containment of the Six Rivers blazes. Our Rachel Marty brings us the latest this evening from Willow Creek.
Containment of the Six Rivers Lightning Complex fire continues to progress, today reaching 67%. Firefighters have worked hard to secure those containment lines that protect communities. Their efforts have been successful with 0 residential structures burned.
That's a result of really good firefighting efforts from our folks, particularly on the northern half of the fire, on the Campbell fire, where we have good containment over the vast majority of the fire. All the evacuations in the major parts of the community have been lifted. There are still a few evacuations on the internal areas of the fire. The main area of concern remaining on this fire is here in Cedar Creek, where the slop over to the northeast of the fire remains a place of active work for our firefighters. When we come into a fire like this, we prioritize those community protection as our #1 thing. So that's the #1 priority for us when we get into a fire, is to find the highest values that need the most protection. And of course, in this situation, that's the community.
Officials urge those eager to begin hunting season to follow road closures, as fire containment is not yet 100%.
We know hunting season's opening up soon. We know this is a place people like to bow hunt. Please follow those closure orders. It's there for the safety of our firefighters and the public.
Residents in the area are grateful for the almost 2,000 personnel currently assigned to the fire.
I just want to thank all the firefighters from the bottom of my heart. I get to go home, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
We appreciate all the effort. There's still a long way to go, it seems like. But yeah, luckily we have 2,000 people, personnel here. More than last year in Monument, so looks like we're a priority. Everybody here is very appreciative.
Always aware of that we could be affected by having it burned towards our house as well. So we're very thankful that the firefighters are doing the job that they're doing to help protect the community.
Reporting in Willow Creek, Rachel Marty, Redwood News.
A strong inversion continues to keep smoke over much of the area, but some clearing was taking place this afternoon, particularly along the northwest area of both fires due to the wind. And while the past few days have seen very unhealthy and hazardous smoke conditions in the Willow Creek area, officials say the smoke is expected to clear up over the next 24 hours to the moderate range. A wildland fire in the Mad River area threatened a home, but it was saved from the flames by Forest Service and Southern Trinity volunteer firefighters. That fire broke out yesterday evening on County Line Road in the Mad River district. Firefighters rushed to the scene and were able to stop a fire that was about a half-acre in size. The blaze came very close to a nearby home. Officials say the fire could have easily spread and become a larger incident had it not been for a quick initial attack by firefighters. Also, officials noticed that the Southern Trinity firefighters that helped contain that blaze were all women. A man has been arrested by Humboldt Sheriff's deputies following a standoff earlier today in Hydesville. A 33-year-old Clayton Lloyd Miller is jailed on charges of false imprisonment and battery of a spouse. It stems from a domestic violence incident at a home in the 3300 block of Highway 36 in Hydesville. When deputies arrived at the home this morning, they say Miller refused to come out, triggering a standoff. They eventually used pepper spray to force him out of the home and arrested him. Eureka City Council member Kim Burgell is now poised to be the next mayor. While it initially appeared there would be a contested race for mayor of the city of Eureka, elections officials now say that's not the case. Councilwoman Burgell will be the only candidate on the November ballot to replace outgoing Mayor Susan Seaman. Stephen Parr submitted a petition to run against Miss Burgell earlier this week, but officials say he doesn't have enough valid signatures on it to qualify for the ballot. That leaves Kim Burgell running unopposed for the mayor's job. There's some new economic data out tonight involving both home sales and unemployment here in Humboldt County. First, the number of residents who can afford a home in Humboldt County continues to decline. According to the California Association of Realtors, less than a quarter of Humboldt County residents can afford a median-priced home. That's down from about 30% earlier this year. The median home price is now over $451,000, which means to qualify, a buyer would need to earn $102,000 a year. Meanwhile, there's word today that California's unemployment rate is now the lowest in nearly 50 years. It's fallen to 3.9%, the lowest point since 1976. Here in Humboldt County, the jobless rate is even lower than the state mark, reaching 3.4%. Del Norte County's jobless rate is higher than both Humboldt and the state, sitting at 4.6%. New at 6, a group of environmentalists and fishermen are appealing the Humboldt County Planning Commission's approval of plans for a massive fish farm. The Commission recently unanimously approved granting permits for a Nordic aquafarms facility to be built along the Samoa Peninsula. You're looking at renderings of what that facility might look like at the site of the old Samoa pulp mill. Nordic says the cooperation will bring hundreds of good-paying jobs to the region, but some environmentalists fear negative impacts for Humboldt Bay. The groups are now appealing the Planning Commission's decision to Humboldt County Board of Supervisors. Meantime, work on another local development project is underway. Lost Coast Outpost cameras capturing the demolition of that taking place along Broadway in Eureka at the site of the former Chamber of Commerce building. It's being torn down by a developer to make way for construction of a new hotel. The land was recently sold by the city. As you may recall, the iconic Dolos was recently located from that parcel of land to Madaket Plaza. It's one of California's longest-running fairs, and this weekend it's well underway for its 126th year. Of course, we're talking about the Humboldt County Fair, which opened Thursday in Ferndale. This year's theme is It's No Time Like Fair Time and features livestock exhibits, horticulture competitions and horse racing. There's also a midway with carnival rides and games, along with plenty of food and entertainment.
I got a shirt.
They asked her how old was the person she was buying it for.
It's for me.
But it's for her.
But we love the fair. We love Humboldt. We love the fair.
Hooray, Humboldt, dude.
And the Humboldt County Fair runs now through August 28th, but it will be closed on Monday. Dedication ceremonies are set for this weekend for a colourful new mural in Rio Dell that's almost complete. It's part of an effort to brighten and revitalise the community. The Rio Dell Scotia Chamber of Commerce sponsored the painting of the mural at the intersection of Wildwood Avenue and Monument Road in Rio Dell. The murals are part of a larger downtown Rio Dell improvement project, which aims to give business owners the opportunity to improve the appearance of their buildings and storefronts. The new murals highlight the history of Rio Dell and celebrates what makes it the city it is today. Here's what the mural artist told us when we recently caught up with her as she worked on it.
This is a piece that we've developed with the Chamber of Commerce and with various ideas on how we can bring together a cohesive image of the very many timelines and industries, recreations, and communities that have made Rio Dell their home.
And the dedication ceremony for this mural will take place at noon tomorrow in Rio Del. Coming up after this short break, we'll be hearing from mental health professionals and teens on the impact of California's new plans. We'll be right back. As we first reported last night, Governor Gavin Newsom announced that California is focusing on children as it overhauls its mental health system. The state plans to spend over $4.5 billion focused on mental health care under California's Kids Mental Health Plan. Reporter Lena Howland has reaction to the plan from mental health professionals as well as teens that have been impacted.
Governor Newsom announcing a plan to create systemic change for the mental health needs of kids and young adults across California.
That stacking of stress comes from years and years where we've neglected your mental health, where we've neglected investing.
His nearly $5 billion plan is meant to benefit teens like Aaliyah Barajas from Fresno.
And at 10 years old, I self-harmed for the first time.
Who publicly shared her struggles with the governor, first partner, and school officials on Thursday. She says friends reported her actions, but there was no follow-up from school.
My parents weren't contacted. I wasn't referred to a counselor like I was told I would be, and there was no follow-up.
As kids are heading back to school, clinical psychologist and founder of Therapy Now SF says they've got a lot on their plates.
And there's a lot of stress that they're dealing with in terms of all of the external factors of COVID and now monkeypox and school shootings and just life stressors in general.
What would you say we might need right now from the state of California to better support our kids right now as they head back to school?
The money is the first place that's going to help us. And then we need programs from that money. We need systemic change. We need there to just be areas where it needs to be assumed that mental health is important. It's as important as physical health.
And Newsom says those resources are now well on their way, including the state's new initiative to double California's number of school counselors by providing $20,000 scholarships to 10,000 people going to school to become mental health clinicians.
We're here mindful of how many people are counting on us and how many people are expecting us to do more and do better.
And the governor says the programme will focus on early intervention as well as give schools more counsellors, give teachers more training and expand remote access to resources. And the weather is next. We'll be right back. Welcome to our Redwood Weather Authority Outlook, everybody. It's me, John Kennedy O'Connor, with the forecast again tonight. Hot foot from the anchor desk. Now let's start by taking a look at the infrared and satellite forecast through the weekend. You can see that there is a lot of low pressure surrounding the state, sitting out over the Pacific and to our east over Washington, and combined with the high pressure off to our southwest, that is creating a front keeping warmer weather for us throughout the weekend. There is some rain in the east over the far north of Washington, but that low pressure is keeping it well away from us. And these pressure areas are going to keep our area generally dry, and thankfully no lightning storms to worry about. Stronger winds have been hitting the coast and inland in the last couple of days, which thankfully didn't spread as far as the fire containment efforts. We've seen winds up to 15 miles per hour on Friday, and here today expect winds from 5 to 10 miles an hour over the weekend, but somewhat stronger right now at the coastline. The wind is creating 5-foot wave heights, and thus there is a small craft advisory in place for the Humboldt coastline. Now, tonight's temperatures are going to be pretty consistent with the way they've been all week, getting warmer as we get further away from the coast. The coolest spot will be 53 in Eureka and 56 in Klamath, Fortuna, Trinidad, Neeland, 57 in Crescent City and 59 in Willow Creek, which will be the warmest spot tonight. The temperature down in Redway almost as cool as it is here, 54 degrees. Looking ahead to Saturday, it will warm back up again from the overnights, but we won't see much sunshine from behind the clouds as the morning midday fog hangs around probably for the entire day at the coast. 66 degrees in Eureka and Ferndale, even lower at 63 in Cape Town, 68 degrees in Arcata and Rio Del. If you're heading to the Ferndale for the Humboldt County Fair, there's lots of fun things happening today and Sunday. It will be a nice 69 degrees if somewhat cloudy. The temperature really heating up inland with 73 in Blue Lake and Neeland, 97 degrees in Willow Creek, and the haze out there isn't going to help with the poor air conditions. Moving up the coast, a little bit of a difference in terms of the heat. Temperatures will start at 66 degrees in Crescent City, 68 to 69 in Orrock and McKinleyville, and rising to 70 in Trinidad, 73 in Brookings, 74 in Klamath. So nice and warm, and then it jumps up considerably to 80 degrees in Gasquet. Further east in Orleans and Hooper, we'll see temperatures solidly in the 90s, and it will be hazy out that way. Looking at the whole of Northern California, it's going to remain very warm inland indeed. Redding, Sacramento, Ukiah, Stockton, well reaching over 100 degrees. Redding hitting a high of 110 as it was today. And many places will be well into the 90s. Cooling down a bit in the Bay Area, and as we move further back up the western state, heating up again, 93 in Santa Rosa. Further to our north, temperatures dropping from the triple digits we've seen in southern Oregon around Medford, 97. But that is warmer than it was today. Back here in Humboldt County, our 7-day forecast is fairly consistent at the coast. Nighttime lows ranging from 56 to 58 for the next few nights, and daytime highs staying at about the same level as we've seen lately, 66 and foggy for Saturday, 67 for Sunday, as the fog and marine clouds will be hanging around. Things will cool off slightly next week, but remain a steady 63 to 65. And as I mentioned today, the wind conditions from the northwest will mean there's a small craft advisory in place. Away from the coast, still very warm, 92 Saturday and rising to 95 Sunday, and gosh, an almost chilly 88 on Monday before things really heat up again next week. The nighttime temperatures ranging from 54 to 58 in the coming days. And don't forget, with the inland fires competing with this hazy hot weather and the lack of wind, to remind you again, the air quality inland will remain poor and there are warnings in place. That's all from the weather. I'll jump back over now to the anchor desk for sports, which is coming up next. And welcome to sports. Maxwell Glenn is on vacation this week. The San Francisco 49ers are preparing for their second preseason game against the Minnesota Vikings tomorrow. And while there's been a lot of focus on new 49er quarterback Trey Lance, also drawing attention is fan favourite George Kittle. Reporter Vern Glenn, no relation to our Maxwell, gives us a closer look.
It's football. We're back. Woo! Yeah!
Nobody on the 49ers enjoys training camp more than George Kittle.
Hi. Hello there. Hi, how are you?
He's certainly lived up to his people's tight end nickname with the faithful.
Bye, Andrew. I'm gonna miss you too, man.
Love you, Kittle.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming. And we got everybody. Goodbye. Thanks for coming.
Kittle doesn't say goodbye to every fan after practice. It just seems that way.
You have to tell people that I can't sign stuff. You have to be the mean guy. I can't be the mean guy.
Right.
My wife's right over there. She can't do it for me right now, so it's on you.
He signs as many autographs as possible. But on this day, it was another signature that made Kittle light up. And when you see the name, let us know how you feel about it.
Hey! You got one for me?
Dallas Clark, another former Iowa tight end. Played 11 seasons in the NFL, but it's what Clark didn't do that left a long-lasting impression with a young Kittle.
I sent a helmet to the Indianapolis Colts facility, an Indianapolis Colts helmet, and I wanted to get Bob Sanders and Dallas Clark's autograph. And Dallas Clark being an Iowa guy, Bob Sanders being an Iowa guy, I was a huge fan, watched their whole careers played out. I knew Dallas a little bit, and never got anything back in the mail. Still haven't. Dallas still waiting on that. So thank you so much. But this will make up for that a little bit. And Dallas, you could call me, give me you could say sorry as well. But this is going to make up for a lot of that. So thank you. And I might be able to bury that story now. Maybe.
Kittle is hoping to have plenty more footballs come his way this season. But after being Jimmy Garoppolo's go-to guy, number 85 now has to win over his new quarterback, Mr. Lance.
At the end of the day, too, I'm just really trying to get on the same page as Trey so he throws me the ball every time.
Yeah. You be nice to the quarterback will find your way.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I try to buy him lunch all the time. I force my kindness on him so he always knows how to find me.
And that's all from sports. Stay with us. We'll have more news after this short break. Now, before we go this evening, we want to recap the latest for you on the big jump in containment for the Six Rivers Lightning Complex fires. Plenty of good news being reported by incident commanders. The estimated area of the fires has dropped to about 25,000 acres and containment has jumped to 67%. That means the blazes are 2/3 contained. Many residents have been allowed back into the densely populated areas around Willow Creek and Salyer, and the number of eastern Humboldt residents under evacuation orders is down from 700 earlier this week to 130 this evening. And for smoke-choked residents along the northwest perimeter of the fires, there's been some relief as wind begins to clear the smoke. So very good news for the fires there. Thanks so much for joining us at 6. We will be back at 11, but you can check our website and Facebook page for interim news on the fires. Thanks so much for joining us at 6. See you at 11.